Now, welcome back. President Cyril Ramaphosa will formally present a certificate of recognition to Amazulu King Misuzulu Zwelithini in front of over 40,000 people at Durban's Moses Mabhida Stadium. Today, let's cross to our anchors, Blaine Herman and Bongiwe Zwane at the Moses Mabhida Stadium. Good morning.
Sanmanani Lebo, very good morning to you once again and a warm welcome to our SABC 2 viewers. We're live from the majestic Moses Mabhida Stadium here in KwaZulu-Natal. Fitting, isn't it? Considering the event, the historic event that this venue is about to host. My name is Blaine Herman.
And sanibona nonke, my name is Bongiwe Zwane. Liphumile ilanga KwaZulu. Liphumile Blaine. You can only imagine how historic this day is going to be. And one thinks about the fact that it was in 1971 when the Amazulu nation witnessed, the coronation of the late Isilo King Zwelithini. You're thinking about today, it's happening on a grand scale. It's happening in a post-democratic South Africa. So a lot of us are waiting to watch history unfold, and the excitement is palpable. Oh, Mama Abasazoza. You're just thinking about what this day is going to mean.
Yeah, definitely. I think we do have that footage as well. Back in 1971, it's so historic because many of us would have not seen this in the last over 50 years. So historic in its nature, in its magnitude. And Taki, do we have that visuals? We'll play it for you in a short while. But look, this is momentous. We are told that the gates have opened at 7 a.m. And it will be a first come, first serve. These are the visuals. These are not the 1971, but we will play you those 1971 visuals in a short while. So, first come, first serve. The capacity of the stadium for this event is 48,000. Of course, the stadium can take more, but in terms of safety, 48,000 first come, first serve. And we have an armada of cameras around the stadium as well as around the city. We have reporters strategically positioned to give you all the very latest. Let's go now to Sakina Kamwendo, actually, on pitch side. Sakina, very good morning to you once again. Expectations ahead of the big event.
Indeed, Blaine, and as you and Bongiwe both said, the excitement is palpable, and as you can hear the music behind me starting to blare and people starting to trickle in. I suppose the officials I see are almost all here in full force, but the general public will be trickling in as well. And we'll talk later about the mechanisms that are in place in order to ensure that the crowd that will be allowed, the 48,000, is not exceeded for obvious safety reasons. But of course, also very importantly today is the official side of things and the handing over of that certificate. And joining me right now is the Deputy Minister of COGTA, Mr. Bapela. Mr. Bapela, good morning, and thanks so much for being with us.
Good morning to the viewers of Morning Life and to every South African today.
Mr. Bapela, now just speaking to the significance of what is happening here today. Of course, the coronation has already been concluded. The king has already ascended to the throne. So just speak to us about what exactly is happening today and the significance thereof.
Well, today the president will be handing over the certificate of recognition that then begin to close the chapter that we have a king of Amazulu that is now on the throne, and then we hope therefore that every Zulu person and the South African nation will now accept and say this is the chapter that we have now hogged, and now we are celebrating it today with music, that handover ceremony. We are also celebrating it by showing our cultures, our pride as Africans, that this is part of our institution, and then obviously the celebration of cultures.
And speaking of cultures and institutions and of course the preservation thereof, what is the role of COGTA in supporting royal households such as Amazulu?
Well, COGTA is the ministry and the department that has been given the mandate to ensure that the institution, as recognized in the Constitution of South Africa, is given space to institutionalize themselves, to strengthen themselves, but also to start working towards ensuring that the people that are living on communal land under the traditional leadership of Makhosi Barena Mahosi, they are able then also to begin to enjoy the benefits of democracy, the benefits of freedom, and service delivery and development in the rural areas in the main, so that South Africa can also then expand and ensure that it touches the souls and the lives of the people in the rural areas, working with the traditional leaders as is the case.
And unfortunately, controversy has become part and parcel of so many of our royal households. And you look back to the Nhlapo Commission that was instituted during the Thabo Mbeki administration, and we look at what is happening today in terms of subsequent monarchies that have been recognized by the South African government. And we are told at the moment we have 10 recognized royal houses, and 6 of those are in dispute. If I am correct, please feel free to correct me. So what is the role then of government and COGTA per se in trying to help resolve these disputes?
Well, it's so unfortunate that indeed there are so many disputes in the royal families around who should be on the throne. And then sometimes it's very difficult as government to enter that space because it's a family matter. And sometimes they take each other to courts. And once matters are in court, you have to wait for the outcome of the courts. You cannot just come in. And we have been engaging with the traditional leaders in all the meetings that we have had with them recently, that if this matter of disputes can really be reduced, find a way of resolving. But also as COGTA, we are now going to be studying the genealogies of the families, the lineage of the families, and have it in records, so that then families, as these matters arises, they're able to refer to some documents, historical evidence, and also how the throne has been kept in succession by each of the nations. And we hope, therefore, that that research will help us a lot, and we have started with some of them. But obviously, it's just unfortunate that once there's a dispute, we forget about the people, and then we now focus on the disputes. From Nhlapo Commission, as we've said, to many other commissions that have come, now is the cause that are in space, and we are trying now to bring this other solution to see if it cannot then work for us. Like you look in other kingdoms in the world, they already know who is the successor well in advance, and I think South Africa must adopt also and say, in the modernization of the monarchy system, we should also now begin to be as predictive.
So just as we start to wrap up this conversation, in terms of preserving cultures and making sure that not only the subjects of a certain kingdom, but all of us as South Africans know and understand who we all are, what sort of strides and advances are you making in ensuring that you work with other departments like arts and culture, education, to make sure that South Africans are well versed with all of the royal houses in the country?
Well, definitely we have relationships with arts and culture, because the Department of Traditional Affairs in the COGTA was only established 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And then by that time, government was long established. Some of the mandates of the traditional leaders, such as the custodian on cultures, on languages, they are scattered across other departments. The Pan-African Board, promotion of languages and the development of languages in arts and culture. Some of the budgets that are now beginning to be there to ensure that we are proud about our cultures, customs, and traditions. They are all over, and we are engaging in sort of memorandum of understanding so that we can collaborate, work together, ensure that the institution of leaders of African traditional leaders can also have a voice in society to deal with matters of gender-based violence, things that are happening in communities, and also to begin to identify cultures that are there, that are discriminative, that are harmful, that are hating communities that are violating rights of other people. So we have identified about 7 or 8 of them to say this must go because culture must be adaptive, culture must modernize culture, but we have to embrace Africanness. We must continue to be who we are and be proud of our identity, our language, and our traditions and cultures.
So in the final analysis, this is a happy occasion, and I can see you are, chomping at the bit to just do something for us here.
today.
Very much so. But is there a move you try to bust for us here? Show us something, just how festive this occasion actually is, because that's why we're all here.
We are memeza Ogandaba, Bayete.
And there you have it from the Deputy Minister of COGTA, Mr. Bapela.